as you read by the title, I'm going to be showing you some of the houseplants that I have acquired over the months. So I thought I'd be festive and put up this makeshift background. I wore my tropical plant shirt from H&M, so very fancy. And I'm just gonna go through all of these plants. I have them all sitting around me right now. You can't see them, but it looks crazy. And I'm going to do some tapping sounds and just some whispering and tell you about each of the plants to my best ability. I really didn't prepare that much for this video, but I have a basic understanding of these plants. So we're gonna start off with, I guess we'll start small. I'll do some succulents first. Some of them are over on the ground over there, so I'm gonna have to get up, so there'll be some cuts in the video. But I'm just gonna go through and talk about each of them. So the first plant that we're gonna talk about, this is actually, I think, one of my most recent purchases. This is, honestly, I don't know what this is. I was in, I don't remember, I was in a hardware store, and I was getting like mulch or something, and I felt really impulsive, so I just decided to pick up this succulent, which is very cute to me. I think it's adorable. It hasn't really grown much, but this is probably like one of the most basic plants that I own. But I actually really love succulents. I didn't start with succulents. I know a lot of people get into houseplants with succulents. That wasn't me, but I do still have a soft spot for them. My roommate hates them, but I love them. And this one, isn't it so like mesmerizing? Like, I think it's so pretty. Okay, so pretty simple, just to start us off. The next one is this jade plant. This is quite an old plant, honestly. I know it doesn't look like it, but jade plants grow pretty slow. So this, I think I've had this plant for about a year and a half now, I want to say. I got it during, actually maybe, yeah, a year and a half. This is also, of course, a succulent. And when I got this, it was probably like this big. Like, it was barely peeking over the edge of this pot. So I think I've done a pretty good job with this plant. I have two jade plants. One of them I have in like a succulent arrangement that you'll see. It's a nice long planter with other succulents, but this one is just all by its lonesome. But I love this plant. I think it's so cute. You'll notice that I have a lot of these terracotta pots, so it's going to be similar tapping sounds the whole time. I have some different pots that could make some cool sounds though, so. But that's this girl. And some people ask me if I have names for my plants, but I had a name for each of them, but I kept getting more, and it kept getting harder and harder to keep track of each plant. So I kind of forgot all of their names. So that's my bad for sure. But what can I do? So the next plant, this is kind of a succulent, but it is a peperomia Ginny, I believe. This, I know her name is Jenny because it's a peperonia Ginny. Peperomia, not pepperoni. This actually has a little bit of mold growing on the pot, which is perfectly safe for the plant. It's just, you know, there's water that gets drawn out of the pot because it's a terracotta pot. guess it is a type of succulent. It holds water in its leaves. So, but I got this and it was pretty small too, so it has grown a fair bit in the past almost a year of me owning it. So, that's her. And the next plant, let's talk about, I have two cacti. They're very different, but this is, I do remember the name for this. This is Apollo. He is a moon cactus, I believe, and I got him from a hardware store again. I wish I remembered, but this I've had for a year and a half. Did I already say that? I don't know. But it's a very hardy, healthy cactus. It is, I think I might be spreading misinformation, but I think these are grafted, so these don't really like exist in nature as far as I'm aware. But apparently they don't last very long either. Like, it's very common for these to kind of fail because they're grafted, as far as I've heard. I could be completely wrong about that. But this is a really cool cactus, and I can actually like touch this and it doesn't like prick my finger. Like the other cactus I have is a pain in the butt when you touch it. It's game over. But this guy I've had for, like I said, about a year and a half, and it shoots off these little like growths, I guess. I don't really like that word, but that's how it grows. This is obviously its biggest one. It didn't have any of these when I bought it, so it's kind of going crazy, but I love her. She's fun. I water her like once a month. And my other one is a bunny ears cactus, which looks like this. This is the devil because when you touch it, it has almost like little fiberglass needles, essentially, and they detach when you touch it. So if I put my finger against this, it would basically, the needle, like the little needles, the barbs, they would come off and they would stick in your finger. They're like hooked on the end. So these are kind of evil, but I think they're so cool looking. Like, are they not like so mesmerizing? And when I was at my old apartment, I didn't have it in the best lighting conditions, so it grew these really long, like stocky growths, which essentially means, there's a word for it, but it essentially means that it is not getting enough sunlight. But I've remedied that in this apartment. I have a grow light and it's sitting right by a window, so these should start to fill out a little bit more. All of these skinny little things, I don't know how to explain it, because they're supposed to be these nice round, like, you know, bunny ear situation, whatever. But I think this little guy is so cool. I got this, I think, for like $6 at a local nursery, and it was like the only one they had. And the sales associate came up to me and she was like, I was waiting for someone to buy that. And I was like, is it cursed? But she's been fine. I actually kind of underwater this because I see it get a little wrinkly sometimes, because it always makes me sad to see overwatered cacti just like falling apart. It's kind of depressing, honestly. Okay, next up is a snake plant. I actually have 3 snake plants, and one of them sitting over there, so we'll get to that one later. But I have another one that's right behind me. Let me grab her. Okay, so this guy, I got this from a nursery. I'm obsessed with snake plants. I think they are so cool. I want to say they're native to Africa. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember, but I think these are so beautiful. I think they're so interesting. there's all different types of snake plants too, as there are with almost every plant species has like 18,000 variants. But this is a really cool plant. I have 3 of them. 2 of them are about the same size, this small size, and then the other one is a big boy. This has just been sitting in its nursery pot for quite a while, close to a year, but they don't mind being in small pots. They actually like to be root bound. If you're not familiar with plants, when a plant is root bound, it is basically grown fully into its pot. Like the roots are, they take the shape of the pot, and there's not that much dirt left usually in that situation. But some plants like that, some plants hate that. Okay. I don't want this video to be too long-winded, so I'm gonna try to get through these without taking 30 minutes each plant. So I have 2 pothos that I'm gonna show you. The first one is this golden pothos in a metal pot. I got this from Walmart, I think. This is a very common houseplant. You see these everywhere. They're very easy to take care of, although I am in the process of killing one right now. I don't know why, but this one's the healthy one. She's happy. She's growing a new leaf right here, and this leaf was supposed to be a new one, but it just kind of gave up. Pothos are notoriously easy to take care of. I know I just said I was killing one, but I don't know, some plants are just a little more temperamental than others. My roommate loves pothos. She's like a pothos collector. She has like 8 different variations of them, and they're all quite different. But of course, they're the same plant, so they resemble each other, but their coloring, their variegation is quite different depending on which plant you own. And the next one is, oh, she's long. Oh my goodness, is a neon pothos. This guy it looks a little dark in the frame right now, but the newer leaves, if I can bring it up, she's really long. They tend to be a little more light in coloration. I think this plant is like 4 feet long at this point. She's very healthy, she's very happy, she loves it here. She's giving me some new growth right there. But this plant is beautiful. I love the shape of these leaves. They're very, like, they're just perfect to me. This is like, to me, pothos are like plant people plants. Like pothos and snake plants are like staples if you're gonna own houseplants. Like, screw a fiddly fig. You don't need that. Get a pothos or a snake plant. Really good beginner plants, and people love them. People see this and they're like, whoa, like she's so big, and I'm like, and I barely do anything. It just grows. So, and I have 2 leaves in the back that are kind of yellowing. Can you even see them? It just doesn't get as much light back there. Okay, that's her. I didn't tap on this pot at all. I'm so sorry. I'm just so engrossed in explaining everything. This is a nerve plant. It is a Fittonia, I believe, is what it's called. But I got this plant looking really leggy. She got the legs of a Vegas showgirl. But I don't really mind it. I think it's interesting. This plant is notoriously dramatic. If you don't give it water regularly, it will droop over as if it's completely dead. It will look like it's dead. But you give it water, and literally 20 minutes later, it's perked right back up. But these are very dramatic. they tend to be a little bit more difficult to take care of because they're very picky about their light requirements. But somehow this guy survived. This is about a year and a half old. It's relatively old. It stopped growing quite as much because I think in its pot it's getting a little bit root bound, which is okay. It's got these cool ridges on the bottom. I don't know if you'll be able to hear that noise. But I think she's pretty. Okay. Now I'm going to retrieve some other plants from over there. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I'm going to show you the succulent arrangement that I was talking about earlier. If I can get it up. There we go. So this is 4 different succulents. I held up with 3. I can't count. This is 4 different succulents all together. They're quite interesting. So this one is a jade plant. It's very similar to the one that I already showed you, but it's a little stockier. It's taller. It's this guy right here. And then this one right here. This actually lost a few of its leaves during the move. I guess it was just sensitive and it got a little bit of different light. It just changed environments and it stressed the plant out a little bit and it lost some of its leaves. A lot of them actually, but it's growing them back slowly, which is quite nice. And then this guy, I don't remember what this is called. I got this from like a garden sale at a university nearby and I think it's really pretty. All of these started out really small and they've grown up quite a bit, but this guy has grown up a lot. I think it's really, really pretty. And then the one at the end is kind of ugly from the bottom, but she's crazy. Do you see that? She's crazy. This, I don't remember what this is called, but it's basically got like a tree trunk at the bottom. Can you see that? It's nuts. This is a very fast growing plant and I love it. I don't know what it is, I forgot. But it's really cool. So, yeah, I think she's quite cute and interesting. A little bit alien looking, to be honest with you. And the little container of the tray it's sitting on makes a nice sound when you move it around. This is kind of creepy, but it sounds really cool. I love this little tray. I got this on Amazon. I think I already said that, but love these guys. So, next plant, I guess I'll talk about my orchids. I have a smaller one and a bigger one. This is the smaller one. This has some really pretty flowers. Both of them are blooming right now, so good time to show them on camera. Speaking of alien plants, like the succulent, I think orchids are very strange, but very unique. I think this orchid's 3 years old, and the other one I have is about 4 years old, I want to say. But these are really cool. They're very pretty, but they've got some weird little dangly roots, and they sit inside a decorative pot. Take it out, and it's got a clear plastic pot with roots. I don't know if you'll be able to see them. It's quite dark. But these are aerial roots on the outside, and on the inside are its regular roots. They both serve similar functions, but usually in nature these cling onto the sides of trees and things like that, so they don't want to live in regular soil like most of the other plants that I have. They prefer loose, like bark-like material because that's how they live in the natural environment. But these are really pretty. This one has gorgeous coloration on it too. Beautiful. And the next one she is. This has been blooming for about 2 months now, so some of the flowers, I'll just pick one off and show you what it looks like. They dry up. They look like this when they dry up. I think it, they're just like dry fall leaves or something. But I think this plant is, again, very beautiful. It doesn't have quite the unique coloration as the other one, but I think a white orchid is, doesn't white mean purity or something in like color theory. But yeah, I think it's really pretty. It's got a similar situation, just much bigger, a decorative outer pot. And when you lift it up, it's got the inner workings of the plant inside, which is always interesting to look at. But that's her. She's very pretty. This was a gift, a housewarming gift, when I moved into my old apartment. So I've been in possession of this plant for about 2 years, and it was like 4 years old when the person who gave it to me, how do I explain this? The person who had it before me had it for 4 years and then gave it to me for, I can't speak English. They gave it to me 2 years ago. So it's a 6-year-old orchid, essentially. And it's grown a lot since then, as has the other one. Okay, I'm going to show you the next snake plant that I have. This guy, I just want to show you the planter, because I already went over snake plants. Just make some sounds. I got this planter from Walmart. It is, your typical like mid-century modern looking planter. These can be really expensive if you buy them like on Amazon or something. But I bought this, I think, for like $10 at Walmart. So yeah, and of course, it's just a snake plant inside. I say just a snake plant. I do not want to offend this plant. She's very important, but for the purpose of this video, you've seen it before. So I'll show you one of my spider plants. I have 2 of them, but I'll show you one because functionally they're kind of the same. And this video is going to be like a feature-length movie if I don't hurry it up. There's people outside looking at me like, what in the world is going on in there? This is a spider plant. This guy's really big. I got this when it was quite small, and now she's huge. This guy is one of my favorite plants because I think it's so cool looking. Like, it just is so interesting to me. It's finally grew a little stalk, and it's going to sprout some babies off soon, which is very exciting. And so it flowers. It shoots these stems off. And then they flower, and then after they flower, they produce little babies that basically look like miniature versions of these. They're just smaller. It's got this stalk right here, and the other one's literally right next to it. Another one right here that's going to produce some babies soon. And I think this plant is so adorable. Also gets a lot of attention. People love the weirdness of this plant. It's just so, like, again, kind of alien looking, a little creepy, like creepy crawly spider plant, She's big. I gotta like duck out of the way in order to avoid getting absolutely engulfed in this plant. She's very pretty. And I got 3 more plants. I was like in the last plant, but no, we got a few more, so stick around. This is a Dracaena. She's very tall. I can't even get the full thing in frame, but she's in this pot, and she's quite tall. I think she's about 4.5 or maybe 4 feet tall. But it's in a nice big terracotta pot. But this plant is really cool. I think I purchased this plant and it was about this tall, so maybe like a foot tall, and it's grown about like 3 feet since I moved it, which progress. But she's very pretty. She's got some really cool coloring on her leaves, which I think is really fun and interesting. She's constantly growing because she is a queen. Okay, I don't want this video to be too long, like I said. So we're gonna get to the penultimate plant. I'll show you my big snake plant last. It's not like it's like as big as the room. It's just, you know, it happens to be last. But I'm gonna grab my money tree and be right back. Okay, so I've got the money tree. This plant looks huge on camera. It doesn't look this big in real life. But this is my money tree. I believe it's called like Pachira aquatica or something like that, I think. This is in a tiny little pot. Like this pot is like the size of my head, and the plant is like, the plant is massive. Like it goes like, I am so impressed with this plant. I cannot even begin to explain to you. It's got a braided trunk, as you can see. Usually they have 5 braids. This one has 4, and I actually looked it up, and apparently that's bad luck, but what are you gonna do? But this guy is so beautiful, constantly with a new growth. I'll show you what they look like. Can you see that? Look at that little baby right there. Adorable. But these are common gifts, like housewarming gift plants. They're actually quite easy to take care of, and this again is in a smaller pot, like so. Barely has any dirt left in it. I don't know how this plant is like happy and healthy, but it is. It loves its life. And I love its life, so this guy's really cool. It rustles around like a tree. Super cool. I don't know if you could hear that or not, but anyway, I'm gonna go put this down and then I'll grab my big snake plant, and that'll be the last plant. Okay, so this guy is my big snake plant. I have it in a little weaved, like, can you consider this like a weaved basket? I don't know. I'll make some sound with it. If you can hear that. But this is my tallest plant. I think it's just taller than my money tree. And like my other snake plants, I don't really have to do much for this plant. It's very unproblematic. I'll show you how tall it is. So here is the bucket, and let's move it down slowly. And it's got one frond that just continues on, and it's on the floor at this point. So I think it's, I want to say 4.5 feet tall, maybe. But she's big. Oh my god, it's literally attacking me. She's huge. But I love this plant. And I think she's unique and interesting, so that's all that matters. So yeah, and this is sitting inside a significantly smaller pot on the inside, but I'm not going to show you only because it's kind of a pain to get it out and put it back in. Sorry, but yeah, I think this plant is really lovely. So that's all of the plants that I have to show. There are more plants in our apartment. There are actually significantly more plants in our apartment, but I just wanted to come back and do a more casual video and just show you some things that I think are really interesting. And one of those things happens to be plants. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed getting a tour of my houseplants and hearing me kind of ramble about what makes me love them. And I should be posting more on this channel at this point. No guarantees. My schedule is kind of busy, but I do have more time now, so I should be getting content out to you guys a little bit more regularly. If you've made it this far, like how? I don't even understand, but I appreciate you. But anyway, I will talk to you guys in the next video. Have a great evening, morning, middle of the day, whatever, and I'll see you soon.